Okay, so we're live, and some very interesting information has come out over the last couple of days that I want to talk about. So, the thing that I find amazing is when COVID 19, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, started in China. And before they started their mass lockdowns and decided we all should work from home or be laid off, the report out of China was patient zero, patient one, whatever you want to call him, was a Chinese doctor. Now it's come out that the virus possibly came out of a lab in the province where the little fish market that they claimed was the problem, um, it originated from. And this place in China worked with this virus. And the US government, when Obama was in charge, sent the Chinese money. Now, first question, why are we, they're not representing the US people. So I really think the foreign aid that's going out needs to stop. And there needs to be a full investigation of what's going on and what we're actually funding around the world. We shouldn't be funding anything that can cause a pandemic like what's happened. We shouldn't be giving money to the Chinese to fund this kind of research. Number one, it's completely against the law for us to do any kind of biological research that could weaponize any kind of virus. So whoever is responsible for getting this money sent in the Obama administration really needs to be looked at. We really need to have a close look at the whole situation. I mean, we've spent millions of dollars on investigating Trump over him trying to hold back funds from Ukraine over the Biden situation, which still hasn't resolved itself realistically. Because if Joe Biden actually did these kind of things and we didn't look at it, we just kind of blew it off, then how is it right that we chase the sitting president, but we don't do anything about the guy that possibly did it previously? And why does Congress get to hold up funding of a stimulus package, which wasn't even a funding package realistically? It was a loan. They're lending the money for us. They're giving us our tax return back early for us to spend. So it's not money that the government actually had to spend anyways. It was money they're going to have to give back. So the stimulus package is just releasing it to us, and we're going to have to claim it on our taxes. But at the end of the day, why is our government giving money to China? Bottom line, why? It doesn't make sense. We're not allies. We do have trade agreements and stuff like that, but why are we funding this kind of stuff? Leave some comments. Let's get this out there and find out why. Okay, it's just the same with the lockdowns that we've been involved in. Now, I know I've got friends in New York State where things are really bad, but things here in Utah aren't that bad. Yes, we've had 49 or 50 deaths. 50 people dying, that's bad. And we would have had that many from the flu this year, at least. We don't know the truth about the virus. We don't know exactly how it's spread. We're trying to cut down by social distancing, which is a great idea. You keep your distance socially, and it's supposed to stop the spread of the virus. And I guess we'll see in May when they start loosening these rules about social distancing. But as Americans, we need to start asking questions. We need to start finding out why our government's spending money, our tax money, not their money. It's our tax money. They work for us. They're not our leaders. They're our employees. Everyone keeps calling them the leaders, but they're not really leading. When they're not taking the interest of the U.S. citizen into their consideration for the things they do, they really need to be gone. Okay. I don't care if it's a Democrat. I don't care if it's a Republican. If they've been sitting in office for more than 8 to 10 years, time for them to go. For them to say bye-bye and leave Washington, D.C. And this lifetime retirement that they get needs to stop. Lifetime health care, which is better than our health care, needs to stop. We need to stop funding politicians for when they leave. They do one term and they get a full retirement. 4 years and they get full retirement? Wow. I'd like to do that as a teacher. 4 years and have full retirement. That'd be great. You know, the real world is they should not be treated like royalty. They're no better than any of us. Okay. Now, President Trump, not the biggest fan of the things he says or some of the things he does. But you know what? Some of the things he does and some of the things he's promised are happening. He's keeping his promises that he made to the American people during the election. Granted, he maybe have different ways of doing things because that's how he does business, but he's treating the US presidency as a business. Trade deals with China, dealing with North Korea. He's done a lot of things people said would have caused war, would have caused problems, but he negotiated and he got things done. Congress will not negotiate. They've had the country held as hostage. They want to bring in rules that are against the Constitution. They want to focus on socialism and social programs for the people of the United States. They need to wake up and see that these socialist programs have failed everywhere else. They like to point out that the Norwegian countries, Sweden, Norway, Finland, um, Denmark, all played with socialism. They went to being a pure socialist country. Good example. Sweden took over Volvo. So the government took over Volvo car company. Within 3 years, they gave it back and sold it and privatized it. They realized that their socialist programs did not work with the government in charge. The government should not be in charge of anything. They work for us. So I just want to say, as I finish this recording, stay safe, stay healthy, and remember, we are U.S. citizens that the Pelosi's, the Trumps, they all answer to us. We get a vote come November. So I'm going to push about voting on this stream. Not telling you who to vote for because that's not my say, that's your say. But if you think socialist programs work based on what you hear from the media, you need to research them. Okay? You need to understand what that means to you as a U.S. citizen. I have friends that say, oh, I have no problem with the 50% tax rate if my health insurance is covered. The problem is, I've lived it. I will do a video about socialized medicine and my lovely 14 years in Australia dealing with socialized medicine. And you'll hear the stories, and I'll share my experiences with that at another time. But hey, just have a wonderful, safe week. And I just wanted to get out there and, hey, look, we need to open our eyes. You know, reports are coming in. Senator Ted Cruz is the one that I heard a Trump interview. He knows that money was sent to that lab in China through us. U.S. government gave it to them. So gave it to the Chinese government to use. So coronavirus, the pandemic, we can all trace it back to Barack Obama and his administration sending money where it shouldn't be. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You be safe and have a great week.